Hello everyone, my name is meet236 and my presentation topic is 4D printers. This is the outline of my presentation of 4D printer. The first one is the introduction part, then the second point is the present printing technologies, which are of course the 2D and 3D printing technologies. Then the next point is 4D technology, of course, which includes the concept of 4D technology as well as the self-assembly, which is the basic of the 4D technology. The fourth point is the future expansion of this technology at two different levels, which are macro and micro scales. In the end, there is the conclusion part of the presentation. Here is the introduction part of the 4D printer technology. First of all, what is 4D printer technology? Many of you would be wondering, what is the fourth dimension of the 4D printer? And the answer is the time. Yes, the time is the fourth dimension of the 4D printers. The idea behind the 4D printer is to program the physical material to build themselves. It uses the spatial material which can be programmed to change the shape and to change the properties and even compute outside the silicon-based matter. Yes, outside the silicon matter. This is the most attracting part of that. It uses totally new material, and this material is biomaterial, which is developed by scientists specially for the 4D printer technology purpose. Thus, material fabrication is the basic of the 4D printer technology. Now, moving towards the next slide, its main point of discussion is the present printing technologies. We all know about the 2D printers, which just has two dimensions for printing. Also, many of us would be knowing about the 3D printers, which can create the replica of the three-dimensional object. Even though the 3D printers also a newer technology, many companies around the world are nowadays manufacturing the 3D printers. But there are some flaws in this too, and this flaw in this technology came in existence just because of the 4D printer technology. And these flaws are, neither of these has time as its dimension. Because of this, object cannot change itself according to the requirements or the surroundings. All these flaws which are there in 2D and 3D printing technology have been tried to be corrected in the 4D printing technology. The perfect term which can be used for 4D printers are self-assembly. It is the process by which disordered part of an object build an ordered structure through only local interaction. And so the object created by the 4D printer is called self-assembled object. The basic idea behind the 4D technology is given here. It uses basically three things: the material and geometry, the energy, and interaction between them. This 4D printer technology uses multi-layered material in the process. This is the material which can absorb the water and can expand or extract itself. The water is expected to act as an energy source for the material to expand once printed. Second thing is it needs energy source, which can be heat energy, shaking energy, then pressure energy, magnetic energy, water energy, etc. With the interaction of these two things, we can do error correction and also transition of the object from one state to another state. This basic idea is to get smart material and interact it in an appropriate manner with energy to get a particular 3D object which is being created with the use of time scaling, and ultimately we get a 4D printed object. In this slide, there is one example of how the 4D printer technology works, and we can see here the first part is like a string of a 3D object, which is when it is put into the water, it absorbs the water, so it interacts with the environment and turn into a perfect cube. So this is how the 4D printer actually works, and this is one of the examples which has been carried out by the scientists of the MIT. Now, if we talk about the future expectation of the 4D printing technology, there are many. Scientists are trying to build macro-scale 4D printer, which means 4D printer at a bigger scale. This is too much useful, and one of its examples would be the self-assembled water pipes. The water pipes which we are using nowadays are finite in capacity. So if the environment around it changes, the ground moves or demand changes, we have to dig it all up and start from the scratch. But with the 4D printers, we will be able to build adaptive water pipes which can expand or contract itself. So ultimately it will act like a robot which doesn't have electric wires. Scientists are also eager and looking forward toward the micro-scaling printing, in which they are trying to develop a nanorobot built from the DNA standards in the form of clamshell basket. So this technology, of course, has bigger future expectations. And now finally moving towards the conclusion part of my 4D printing technology print presentation, I would like to put forward three main points. The first is the construction and manufacturing. It can create different construction and manufacturing parts which are self-assembled, so it will be too much helpful for this kind of business. Then second one is reducing energy and consumption and the labor. It will reduce huge amount of energy which has to be used to build certain mechanism or construction parts. It will also remove the labor part from the manufacturing and will save a lot of precious time. So ultimately, this 4D printing technology will become a revolutionary invention in near future. And I would like to end my presentation with these points. So thank you very much.